This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, getting you ready for today's sports day.
3 of the first 4 games have been at home, so at some point in time you're going to have to venture outside the 806, so that'll start this week.
While having a little fun along the way.
Always good if you can blame it on somebody else, right?
Yeah, sure.
Especially some media guy.
Sure. Right, some media guy.
Catch the show live weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3. Passing on Chuck's rules for life. It's the Morning Drive on Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com.
Thanks for being with us with Jamie Lent out, Chois Woodman in, Jeff McGuire is here as well. I'm Chuck Heinz. We'll have high school football on the air for you tonight. Lubbock Cooper is at home at the Pirates Place against Abilene High. Not Abilene Cooper, Abilene High. There'll be a 6:30 broadcast time on 100.7 The Score. And then here on Double T 97.3 tonight, it's Friendship playing at Midland, the Bulldogs. Not the Midland Legacy Lee people.
Nope.
But Midland High. Good old Midland High against Friendship. That'll be a 6:30 broadcast tonight with a 7 o'clock kickoff. Last night, how about the Coronado Mustangs?
Hey.
And they have been on the struggle bus since beating Friendship in week 1. They had lost at Midland. They had lost at Ryder, both heartbreaking losses. Lost to Cooper, heartbreaking loss. Lost to, that was Abilene Cooper. Lost to Caprock. That was their biggest loss by 16 points. Lost by Lubbock Cooper a couple of weeks ago on a 50-yard field goal there at the end. But last night, they take down the Amarillo Sandies 28-17. So good job for Coach DJ Mann's team. I'm assuming he was there. He was not at the media luncheon yesterday. Sick. They were putting fluids in him, and so I'm assuming he was there. But if not, congratulations to him and his team and staff, and for kind of holding it together. Because when you've lost games like that, 50-yard field goal, and leading to the almost very end against Ryder, and give up a late touchdown, blah 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 blah. And now they're in district play, so these games obviously mean a ton, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, good for them to pull out a victory last night. So we'll have those 2 games on our airwaves tonight, and then also in action tonight is Estacado. They'll play. I hate these things, and I rail on them every time, but it doesn't seem to do any good. I hate these 4 o'clock games. It's so disruptive for school. It's so disruptive for the parents. It's senseless, especially when you have a bye weekend this weekend. You could have played that game on a Saturday afternoon. They used to do that here.
Yeah,
they used to play against Tech games too. But
as much as I think your flat bases stuff, and you've got some weird takes out there, I don't mind this one.
Okay.
I think your New Mexico take's a little strong when it comes to
playoff football or
playoffs fine.
Playoff basketball, playoff football, playoff baseball. If you're going to be in the state of Texas, God, play in the state of Texas.
But I'm fine with this take. If you've got Saturday afternoon open, I don't know why you don't play this game at 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
it's just ridiculous to me. But the other thing that makes it problematic is for the Lubbock High kids is that they're playing this afternoon at 4 against Plainview. Angry Red, enough said.
Angry Red, enough said.
Yeah. They love the Starburst return in Plainview. That's like a signature play for them on their kickoffs.
Okay.
Starburst return. They love it. The guy gets it and does a little turnaround and hands off. And, it's a...
They still love it or used to did?
I think they still do. I think they probably still run it, would be my guess. But anyway, Lubbock High plays Plainview. That's a big game. And for Lubbock High, they're coming off a 70-0 loss to Paladuro. So, their coach yesterday basically saying, "Hey, we told our kids you gotta get up and you go to work and dust yourself off," and that's what they did.
Yeah,
and so. I don't know that anything's easier. Like, is it easier to get up after a 70-0 loss or a 15-14 heartbreaker? They're both still extremely difficult. Monterey will look for its first win tonight of the season. They'll play at Caprock, and I've got some notes on all of this, and I'll share them with you later. But a lot of these schools are playing with so few kids. Like Coach Thrash from Monterey saying they have like 35 kids on their varsity roster.
I don't know how that's possible at a 5A school.
I know.
Right.
And so they moved up a kid from JV last week. Okay, they moved him up to play outside linebacker. All right.
Yep.
Their quarterback gets hurt in the game. All of a sudden, your JV outside linebacker, who they just moved into the varsity locker room, is now your QB1.
It's QB, yeah.
And Coach Thrash said he did a great job in terms of his. He said it reminded him of Moxon from Varsity Blues. That's what he said.
Okay.
That's what he said.
Like, what about him? I'm curious what.
The on-field stuff.
Oh, okay.
The on-field stuff.
I didn't know if it was personality or
no,
what. Okay.
No. Just stay.
Moxon.
Keep your mind pure. Choice.
Well, he wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Moxon wasn't bad.
Yeah.
There's a lot worse characters in that movie that could have been.
Yeah. 6:20 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Right. This from PJ, our friend PJ. My wife is at the airport, and Coach McGuire is there flying commercial. He's a man of the people. I believe he and Kitley are headed to see Micah Hudson, Tech legacy and 5-star receiver for Lake Belton in the 2024 class.
Yeah, that's it. Micah Hudson is the one. He's kind of the prized possession. I'm not a big recruiting guy, but
who is his dad or mom?
He played on defensive line for Tech in the late 80s. I'll pull it up for.
Okay.
But yeah, he's the one 5-star. I think he's the third highest receiver in the country.
Yeah, I figured that they would be out recruiting today. I mean,
everybody's recruiting.
Oh, do you use that word?
Recruiting. ABC, always be recruiting.
Right. No, I'm with him on that.
No, it's just everybody is this week. I think Tech, if y'all are into that stuff, I think their football account tweets out which school is or which coach is going where today. Okay. So you can see where they're.
The thing that and this is, I think, where the skill set for Joey McGuire is really, really seen is he knows. It's funny. He knows where the schools are. He knows how to get there, and when he walks in the door, he knows he has relationships or can easily make them because of his past as a high school football coach and how he has embraced still Texas high school football from the get-go. And I think there's a lot to be said for relationships. There's a lot to be said for, hey, the water's warm, coach, come on in, versus trying to. And nothing against the previous guys, but when you're the new kid on the block and you have to go, hi, my name is Coach Blank, and you're like, hey, Coach, it's nice to meet you. And you've got to, as opposed to walking in the door and them saying, hey, Coach, it's good to see you again. Yeah. There's a lot. I mean, that handoff to that player or that, person that's in, whether it's a parent or grandparent or uncle or, family friend, the big influencer in the room. I just think that's absolutely huge. Absolutely huge.
Yeah, I think there's an inherent advantage to that. And he's 6 years removed from being in high school football, but
he has not forgotten his past.
No. I mean,
and those guys haven't forgotten him either.
I think that Mike Gundy, speaking before last week's game, talking a little bit about Joey McGuire, almost sounded like he was jealous of the relationships that McGuire has with the high school coaches in Texas. He's like, well, yeah, he's gotten a huge advantage recruiting.
Well, we kind of speculated on that maybe Mike Gundy didn't necessarily get maybe the welcome mat wasn't out there for Oklahoma State when they came into town because Coach McGuire was maybe steering, and I'm not saying he was steering kids to more, Texas schools, or maybe he just didn't like the Gundy approach. Who knows? Clearly it's Frosty, right? Because Mike Gundy knows who Baron Morton is.
Of course he does.
He's.
I know.
That's just ridiculous for him not to mention his name.
What is he?
What is he?
He's a freshman.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like all of it is
like it's brand new. Like he just landed from Mars in a spaceship.
And I don't like that approach. You're either making yourself look dumb for not knowing, or you're obvious that you're downplaying it. So I don't like that approach. But it's Mike Gundy, so it's whatever.
PJ says his dad is Desmond Royal.
Yes, that's correct. Okay. Desmond Royal.
That name doesn't resonate with me. I'm sorry.
He was a player, I want to say same time around Billy Joe Tolliver, maybe
so
just a little bit after.
That's before me.
Yeah, it was before me too, but I was
Well,
told
before you were
last
born,
week.
before I got here.
This was before I was born, yes.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, Chuck.
No.
Okay. I didn't bring that one up. You did.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is kind of the gem of the class if they could get him.
Okay.
Micah Hudson, and
We'll go close him.
I think they believe that they're in on him and
They
got
must
a
feel,
chance.
They must feel pretty good about it because they didn't call me to ask to go help do the close.
Okay.
So they must feel really
feel decent about it.
really, really good about that.
Yeah, and I think he and Coach Kitley were both in Midland last night recruiting as well. So.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I mean that's a skill set that he has. Some coaches don't desire it. I think he loves it. So that's what you want, right? Embraces.
Getting your sports day started the right way. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, breaking down the biggest games.
If Texas Tech does not win the Big 12 football conference, who are you rooting for to win the conference if Tech does not win it this year?
Well, busting some chops along the way.
I hold back on sending you stuff. I mean, I'm very, very, very judicious.
We spend 3 hours a day, 5
Right.
days a week
I know.
together.
Yeah.
Why would we need to communicate during the weekends?
Right.
Save it for the show.
We do. We save it for the show.
Tune into the Morning Drive live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3.
Time for this day in sports history. Today is the 14th day of October, 2022. Here is Jeff McGuire.
Going to start in 1906 because the Baseball World Series was the All-Chicago Series. White Sox beat the Cubs 8-3 at the Southside Park, which was what its name at the time, to win the title 4-2. It's the very first American League victory. 1951, Detroit Lion Jack Christensen returns 2 punts for touchdowns versus the Los Angeles Rams. 1964, American swimmer Kathy Ferguson sets a world record of 1:07.7 to beat Kiki Karin of France by 0.2 seconds and win the women's 100 backstroke gold medal at the Tokyo Olympics. 1965, in the World Series, the Dodgers edged the Minnesota Twins 2-0 in Game 7 at Metropolitan Stadium. Dodgers' third title since moving to L.A. Your MVP, L.A. pitcher, Sandy Koufax.
Okay.
1973, 42-year-old and future Baseball Hall of Fame center fielder Willie Mays has his last Major League career hit as the Mets beat the A's 10-7 in the World Series in Game 2 in Oakland. Chuck was discussing touchdowns, and we always think of how many they have at the end. Well, at some point, every great player didn't have any. Didn't have any touchdowns, didn't have any points scored in an NBA game, didn't have a hit in Major League Baseball. 1979. NHL's greatest scorer, Wayne Gretzky, gets his very first NHL goal today. He would have quite a few more.
A lot. Though Ovechkin's kind of creeping on his goals record.
Not his
close
points.
to his points record, yeah.
Favorite stat about him. If you took away all his goals, he would still lead in points.
Still leading points. It's crazy.
1990, San Francisco 49er quarterback Joe Montana passes for 6 touchdowns versus the Atlanta Falcons in a 45-35 win. 2003, a fan at a Cubs game named Steve Bartman deflects a ball away from Chicago Cubs outfielder Moises Alou, who had no actual shot at catching this ball. Cubs give up 8
Did you add
runs
that
in
part?
the inning. Huh?
Did you add the had no actual shot at catching this ball?
Yes.
That's rather...
That's not entirely accurate.
Yeah, I think he could have caught it.
Yeah.
If he was Michael Jordan standing on top of Yao Ming. Maybe.
Okay.
But because they're the Cubs, they then give up 8 runs in the inning because, that's how many you can score on one play in No, you
Foul
can't
ball
score.
on a foul ball.
You
Yeah.
can't score 8 runs on one pitch, can
Yeah.
you, Chuck?
No,
No. 4. You
No.
can go 4. I don't think you can get 8.
Right.
Maybe the Marlins figured out a rule change to win the game 8-3,
Mm-hmm.
and Bartman incident is seen as the turning point in the series because, again, you can score 8 runs
Good grief.
off of one
Jeff,
pitch.
I've just watched the video again because I'm like, let's see how I remember. Very catchable. Very catchable. His glove literally hits Bartman's hand as he grabs the ball. But go on. You sound like a White Sox fan towards the Cubs.
Let's blame the people who are actually to blame for their loss. The 8 runs in the inning is why
I mean,
they
that-
lost.
Yeah, you
that
know,
is-
but you're
that's
out
a
of the
very
inning
good
if you
point.
make the catch.
That is a very good point.
Sure, but you're also out of the inning and the 8 runs never happen if he makes the catch.
Or the 2 other errors that happened in the inning that were
get it.
actual errors.
Right, you can stop the bleeding, but the bleeding never would have happened had he been able to make
It's
the
like
catch.
it's like the Buckner play in the '86 World Series.
Sure.
I mean, there were plenty of other things.
Right.
And the Deckinger call in the '85 World Series. There were plenty of other things that took place in that 9th inning that led to the Royals winning that game.
2020. NFL cancels the Pro Bowl, which was scheduled for January 31st, 2021, due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
How convenient of them.
No one noticed. It is National Dessert Day.
I'm not a big dessert guy.
Anymore or always?
Pretty much always.
Okay.
Pretty much always. I
It
mean,
dep-
I like pie and I like cake, but I don't have to have it every meal.
Okay. Same here, but if it's there, it's hard to deny for me. And I didn't used to be that way.
Instead of going to birthdays directly today, there's a couple we're going to get to later.
Okay.
If I said best basketball player in Texas Tech history to never play in the postseason,
Okay. That's interesting.
and maybe history's a little far back, if I said between 1995 and now.
Okay.
Jay Crockett.
Jay Crockett, happy
Okay.
birthday today.
That's
Turns
good.
31
Wow.
today.
How about that? Pulling that out of the
That's
old
really good. No,
memory
that's all right. Well, because I was thinking when he said 95, I'm like, I'm trying to go back to the 90s and think on guys, but that's the right answer. Man, he could have done some damage on some other
Oh,
teams.
no question.
I mean, he did damage, but he could have.
I
He deserved postseason, and he deserved better. What I think between recruiting and coaching, he had 4 different coaches. I think that's right.
okay. Probably. I mean, he was.
Man, because I think he was
Unfortunate.
recruited by Pat, ended up with
He
Gillespie
played for
and-
Pat.
Huh?
I think he played for Pat.
Oh, I think he was recruited by Bob, played for Pat,
Yeah.
played for
Gillespie
and Chris Walker.
and Chris Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Pat game when they won over was it Washington in overtime?
Yeah.
And kind of thought that was a signature win there for Pat that year, and
Yep.
it turned not to be.
Not so. That Washington team didn't turn out to be good.
Right.
Yeah.
But we thought it was at the time.
Right. I think they were
15th
ranked or something. Yeah. They were ranked.
Also celebrating a birthday from the same day, Luke Adams celebrating a
Oh,
birthday.
how about that?
Ah, same teams.
Are
Are they exactly the same age? Or
exactly the same age.
Wow.
31 and
born on
31.
the exact same day. Cool.
Happy birthday to Usher, 44, Ralph Lauren, 83, ESPN Blowhard, allegedly. Stephen A. Smith is 55. Jared
There's
Goff.
no allegedly to that. He is a blowhard, and I think he would tell you that he is.
I will let you do that. I don't want to get sued.
I think he's a blowhard, and he thinks he's a blowhard. I think he understands his role.
Yeah. He gets
Jared
it.
Goff, 28. Stacy Keebler, 43. Joe Girardi, 59. Jerry Glanville, 82. And Brandon Wheaton is 39. And instead of just giving you one thing on this day in history, I'm going to give you 3 because all 3 of them are really cool. 1947, Chuck Yeager breaks the sound barrier.
There you go. And
Night-
he could have been an astronaut, but didn't think it was going to be that big a deal. He thought test pilots would be bigger,
And didn't have a college degree.
and didn't have a college degree.
1962, Cuban Missile Crisis kicks off after a U-2 spy plane takes pictures of medium-range missiles capable of carrying nuclear weapons 90 miles off the coast of Florida in Cuba. And in 1964, Martin Luther King Jr. wins the Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh, how about that?
All of those things happened on this
Yes,
day
very good.
in sports history.
You know, and Kennedy would call Cuba. Cuber. Cuber. All right, time for secret word of the day at 6:51-ish. We're at 6:53. We're slightly delayed today. Double T 97.3 and the Home Zone have combined to team up again. They make your house a home over at the Home Zone every single day, and we're giving away $10,000 with them. All you have to do is take the secret word, go to doublet973.com, enter it in. You could be qualified to win. We'll let you know if you are. The more times you enter, the more chances you have to win. Our secret word, they are not playing well, and I'm just fine with that. At 6:52 is Broncos. Broncos is our secret word today.
If you type in donkeys, that doesn't work, right?
No.
Okay.
I think there should have been a special dispensation for donkeys.
Just
the donkeys.
erase the Broncos. Put in donkeys.
Put in donkeys.
You get two
Chuck,
entries.
you're not
if you put
allowed to
donkeys.
win,
I'm not allowed to win. Okay.
so that doesn't really help everybody.
So Broncos
They
is
are-
our secret word of the day.
They are the least fun team in the NFL to watch right now.
Yeah.
That game last Thursday was atrocious.
Going back to something Jeff talked about in This Day in Sports History, Willie Mays' last hit coming on Game 2 of the 73 World Series, that was overshadowed by a second baseman for the A's. His name was Mike Andrews. He committed 2 errors in a 4-run 12th. Charlie Finley tried to fire him after the game and basically made him sign something that said he was injured, okay? And so his teammates and his manager, Dick Williams, then rallied behind him, including placing his number 17 on their uniforms with tape. Finally, the commissioner, Bowie Kuhn, ordered Finley to play him ordered Finley to put him back on the roster. He came in Game 4 as a pinch hitter, grounded out, and Finley benched him and said he would never play for them again. And that was his last Major League Baseball game. He would go to play in the Japanese League.
Wow.
But Mike Andrews went down. I mean, that was just a huge, huge storm during that 73 World Series, which the A's won. They won 72, 73, and 74. And Williams was so furious about it, he quit a World Series team. And a guy named Alvin Dart came in the next year and managed the team to yet another win because they were so good. You and I could have done.
You're tuned in to the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, recapping the night that was in the world of sports.
That's not to say that they don't respect the run game that you have, but you're talking about one quarterback leading the conference in passing so far this year. And remember, he didn't start the first game.
All right.
Still played a lot, though.
And also bringing some humor to your day.
I just don't want to disappoint you. As much as I disappoint you, I don't want to disappoint you in some things that you expect from me.
Hear the show live weekday mornings at 6 on Double T 97.3 or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app. Coffee, Mountain Dew, and sports. More coffee and dew than sports, but it's there for sure. The Morning Drive on Double T 97.3.
Choice is in for Jamie. Jeff's here. I'm here. And my name is Chuck, so it's nice to have you with us this morning on the Morning Drive. Yates Flooring Center chat line is open, courtesy of the Double T 97.3 mobile app, presented by Happy State Bank. And Benchmark Hotline is open too. All right. Somebody says this, and I was going to mention it earlier, but it slipped by me. Digging the cactus shirt, Woodman.
Gracias.
Okay.
Just feeling festive.
Feeling festive. I think it's bull when a defensive player goes in for the hit and is at the numbers or waist and gets called for targeting when the ball carrier lowers down to his level and goes helmet to helmet, almost like offense looks for those calls. OSU player almost took off Morton's head off on a slide like he missed.
Yeah.
Come on, Chuck.
That one was the
that's
OSU Barron one would have been far, far worse and far more egregious because he launched straight at him. If he would have connected, that would have been really bad or could have been really bad. I don't know. The sliding thing is so difficult, especially the guys that can slide quick.
It
like
is.
Kyler Murray, he's the quickest slider I've ever seen. He gets down just immediately.
I saw somebody say this about him the other day, and I completely agree. He's a high school player playing in the NFL. He looks like a high school player.
Because of his size or what?
Yes.
Yeah, he does.
He will lead them to nothing.
Okay.
He will lead them to nothing.
I probably don't disagree, but I think
he's not going to take Coach Kingsbury to the promised land.
No, but there's worse options out there. That's the hard thing about being a coach in the NFL. at quarterback. If you've got one that's like at the Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott level, where it's like, well, he's still top half of the league, but he's just not elite.
That's still the damnedest thing I've ever seen, though.
He's not Kirk Cousins.
Guy gets fired at his alma mater, a beloved soul, gets hired as an NFL head coach, was asked before a game what his thoughts were about Kyler Murray. I had the number one pick.
Yeah.
I'd pick him.
I know. That's never that will never happen again. Yeah,
will
exactly.
never happen
It's
again.
not going to ever happen again.
Of all the bizarre things in the NFL, that's one of them. I'm glad I was there that night when he said that. It was a Sunday night.
Yeah, I remember him saying it, and it's like,
I was like, okay, well, whatever.
because people brought it back up. It's like, wait, he was actually asked this question. He's going to get the number one pick.
I wish I can't remember who asked that question. Somebody
man.
might have been Collier. Collier might have asked that question. That's an intelligent question. So it probably was David Collier.
Probably. Don't boost his ego too much. Actually, he needs it. Sooners are really bad right now.
Come on, Chuck. He went into the head to the point the quarterback was out for the rest of the game. It was the difference in the game. Well, maybe so, but his head, he hit his shoulder and his head hit the ground. That's football. It is football. The big turning point, though, several turning points, though, in this West Virginia game last night. I mean, you had the scoop and score that allowed West Virginia to take a lead. And then Baylor comes ties it up at 17, I believe. And then Baylor comes right back, scores. And then they went seesaw back and forth. Very entertaining game.
Yeah.
But how about the blocked extra point that is then picked up and ran back for 2 by West Virginia?
That's huge.
Huge game. Huge in the
because
game.
that's a 3-point swing right there, and they won by 3 points.
Right.
Right? I mean, like that's exactly the difference. Block the extra point for 1 point, take it back for 2 more.
Yeah.
That's something you never see, really. I mean, in terms of watching college or pro games, a blocked extra point taken back probably happens 1% of the
man, and the way
games?
that the guy came up the middle and then he batted the ball down, which was very smart of him, because then the ball goes off to the right, to the left side of the line, right side of the defensive line, and then there's a defender right there for West Virginia, picks it up and goes the distance. But Chapin, is that how you pronounce it? Is that right?
Chapin, yeah.
Chapin. So Chapin last night goes 14 of 22. Okay, Blake Chapin goes 14 of 22 before he's injured for 326 yards, and he'd thrown 2 touchdowns. His back,
Chapin. I think it's Chapin. So.
His backup, Drones, Kyron Jones. He's a freshman from Pearland. He threw an interception. He also threw a touchdown. The interception he threw really didn't come back to haunt him, because West Virginia promptly threw an interception back.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So, credit West Virginia for stiffening up there at the end. But that's not to say that Chapin had been in there. That some could have been curtains for him.
It's all the unknowns. It's just like the Longhorn fans of if only we had Quinn the whole year. And look, turnover at the quarterback position is normal. It's completely normal in today's football, unfortunately. So you've got to have a viable backup. You have to. If you're going to be a really good team, or going to be a team that wants to make any sort of run, you've got to have a backup. Or in Texas Tech's case, you got to have 2 backups that work out. So
we'll talk more about West Virginia and Baylor, because I want to get people's thoughts on, are you concerned now after you've seen West Virginia play like that versus maybe how they've played in some other games? They're now 3-3. Baylor's 3-3. Other games tomorrow, number 19, Kansas at Oklahoma. Sooners are favored by 9. That's an 11 a.m. kick. Also an 11 a.m. kick, Iowa State plays at number 22, Texas. Texas is a 16-point favorite. And then another game that I think is that they have wrong is Oklahoma State and TCU. Be very interesting. The odds makers, they have TCU favored by 4.
I don't understand that line. But then there's been some lines I just don't get. Vegas.
There's a lot of love being shown to TCU, and I'm not sure that they earned it by the way that they beat Oklahoma, and then their win last week as well.
Maybe I'm just being stubborn and stodgy and set in my ways. based off of my preseason prediction of TCU, because I said this would be a team that's probably going to struggle to get to a bowl game. I'm wrong on that, but I'm still not sold that TCU is one of the best three or couple teams in this league. I don't think this is a team that's going to end up playing for a Big 12 title in Arlington. That being said, the one area TCU is absolutely better than I thought they'd be is offensively. That offense has put up some numbers. They've been able Max Duggan has been able to run all over teams. So I am concerned about them from that standpoint, but I still think OSU is a better team, and I think OSU will win on the road this weekend.
Yeah, I do too.
And I think there's a lot. This, not quite as much as the Tech game, but I think there will be a lot of orange in the stadium.
Well,
in Fort Worth.
I think Oklahoma State's defense is really going to bother TCU.
I think so, but the running ability of Duggan is what concerns me for Oklahoma State's defense.
Sure.
Because I don't think their secondary is very good.
Do you think Iowa State covers against Texas? I don't.
16 points? Is that what it's at?
Yeah. I mean, considering that. Now, here's the deal. Iowa State's offense, anemic, but the last couple of games, they've only allowed 24 points, defensively?
Mm-hmm. They've Big Ten'd up the Big 12 a lot. I think
they're pining for that Big Ten
really
invitation, but their big brother in that state, Iowa's.
They've had a 10-7 win over Iowa. They've had a 14-11 loss and
to Kansas
and a 10-9 loss.
Yeah,
it can't get any more Big Ten than that.
Right.
I don't think Iowa's going to have enough gumption to offense to keep up with Texas.
Somebody says the Big 12 champ is probably going to have 2, maybe 3 losses. Are you bothered by that?
If Texas Tech was in that mix, I'd be bothered because you're not going to get to a national title conversation. But no,
well, you're not going to. Okay, let me just newsflash: nobody from the Big 12 this year is going to the college football playoff.
I agree with that.
Okay,
I think OSU.
So I like the fact that 2 to 3 losses because that means that you're saying there's a chance.
Okay,
if you want out,
yeah, you have to win out. That would be the chance. But I think I agree with that statement. I would be surprised. I'd be surprised by anybody winning the Big 12 with less than 2 losses at this point.
Well, you got K-State's 3-0, Okie State's 2-0, TCU's 2-0, KU's 2-1, Texas is 2-1.
Yep,
the Big 12.
Yeah, but a lot of these teams have played the easier part of their schedule up front.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt.
We'll see though.
7:25. Choice has got a question for us next. Somebody says, stubborn and stodgy. Not you, Waco.
I think that was sarcasm.
Think?
I'm an old.
TCU gets some love because they're in the Metroplex and there are more gamblers there than Oklahoma. That from Syntex Hank.
But do they gamble on TCU?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We had some sage wisdom from Washed Up Guy. I'm glad that West Virginia beat Baylor because now hopefully Tech fans will realize there are absolutely no gimmies in this league. Washed Up Guy is our senior advisor to the Morning Drive.
Senior advisor.
Senior advisor. Okay.
I like it.
Senior advisor.
You're listening to the Morning Drive podcast from Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3, recapping the night that was in the world of sports.
A little bit later on tonight, we'll have the Astros and the Diamondbacks. That'll be at 8. And then the Rangers playing at Seattle tonight.
And also bringing some humor to your day.
Was it pretty big?
Yeah. I mean,
it's impressive?
Yeah.
Was it fascinating?
I thought it was fascinating. It kind of smelled, but I mean.
Hear the show live weekday mornings at 6 on Double T 97.3 or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app. Have your opinion heard now on the Yates Flooring Center chat line at doublet97.3.com or the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
Coming up at 8, we'll talk some Dallas Cowboys. Do we have a quarterback controversy, or do we just have a really good defense and a bus driver
hit him now,
taking care of the offense? 7:45, the boom, 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 and then next, Choice has got a question of the day.
Not until he hits you, he doesn't.
Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is presented by Bizarre Solutions. Call them today for a free cybersecurity audit.
Okay, Draymond, hit me with your best shot.
Oh, Draymond. That's the biggest insult. You've hurled some insults at me, but calling me Draymond is, I take as much offense as Jamie Lent would
Okay.
with that.
Okay.
All right. Insinuate
Why don't
Chuck,
they just cut him? I guess because he's just too good a
'cause
player.
he's too good of a player.
Even though he cost them one NBA championship.
The triple single guy. Too good
Unbelievable.
of a player. All right, so we have hit the halfway point of the season here in Lubbock,
Sure.
just about everywhere else
3 and
in
3.
the Big 12.
Mhm.
So my question, and this is based off of your own preseason expectations, Chuck and
Yeah.
Jeff, which team is better than you thought the most? Which team has surprised you the most in a positive way?
Mm-hmm.
And which team has surprised you the most in a negative way? Which one's a lot worse than you thought they
But
would be?
it seems to be pretty low hanging fruit on the team that's the worst would be Oklahoma. I mean, they're 0-3 in the conference. They're 3-3 overall. Did anybody expect that? No.
No.
No. I mean, I know they lost a lot. I know they changed coaches. I know that they've changed some philosophies. They lost their quarterback, blah, blah, blah. But still, nobody expected Oklahoma. Certainly Oklahoma did not expect to be 0-3. And then...
But there's another one. I don't think it's...
Well,
yes,
you
OU's
wanna
probably
say-
the easy answer.
You want to say Iowa State?
No, I want to say Baylor.
At 1-2 and 3-3?
Yeah. 1,
Okay.
2, and 3. I mean, if they're the preseason number one,
And I
voted by the coaches.
look, I think the two surprise teams where they are today are TCU and KU. TCU at 5-0, 2-0 in the conference, and Kansas at 5-1 and 2-1 in the conference. And bear in mind, I mean, their two conference wins, are against teams that are. But now that West Virginia win looks pretty good, based on what we saw last night. The Iowa State win. I mean, we'll see what Iowa State does against Texas tomorrow, right? They just get absolutely blown out. Jeff, what's your thought?
Positive?
Yeah.
Obviously,
Positive or
it's-
negative, yeah. Or both.
positive has to be Kansas. They are playing exponentially better football than anybody expected them to be playing at this point.
Do they win another game?
I'm not going to say they don't. And if you asked this question last year, are they going to win a game? We're talking about them winning another game to get bowl
I know. I
eligibility,
get it.
not win a game, period.
I get it.
And that's how bad they have
No,
been.
5 wins at Kansas is like winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an unbelievable
Disappointment, I'm
feat.
with you, Joyce. It's got to be Baylor. If you're preseason Big 12 favorite to win it, you can't have two
fair.
losses in conference.
That's fair.
Not halfway through, or not
Yeah.
3 games in. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think either answer is on the negative. Either is just fine because OU, even though there's a coaching turnover, even though
they're Oklahoma.
it's still Oklahoma. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
they're
expectation.
Oklahoma.
It's not like Texas. It's not like Texas with all the talent in the world, yet we still expect them to underachieve.
No matter who the coach is.
Exactly. I mean, last decade it's been that way. They've had one pretty good season in 10 years at Texas. But OU,
They probably shouldn't have run off Mac Brown.
yeah,
But maybe he needed a couple of years away to fill up the tank.
maybe. But I mean, the other side of that is the OU. They've given us the other expectations. It's been no matter who's coming in, no matter who your quarterback is, they're just going to reload every single season. So even though there's been a coaching change there, the expectation has been, well, they're still going to be close to, if not playing for, a Big 12 title this year. And pretty shocking to see them not just be 0-3, but look as gosh awful as they have in these first 3 Big 12 games.
I mean, the point you make about is KU going to win another game? It's valid because they play at Oklahoma tomorrow, at Baylor on the 22nd.
Yep.
And that's obviously Baylor's next game, coming off the loss from last night to West Virginia. Oklahoma State at home. Then they come here, on November 12th, host Texas on the 19th. They've played Texas tough, even in their worst of times.
They have.
But they have, and of course, they beat them last year. And so Texas I'm sure that will be in the back of their mind a little bit. And then they finish up at K-State, which has been an extremely difficult place for them
They're
to win.
going to be an underdog in each of those 6 games. They
Yes.
will. I mean,
no question.
we already know they're an underdog this weekend against OU.
So
So yeah, they're going to be an underdog probably, I mean, look, the most winnable game there to me for them is going to be either in Lubbock or in Waco.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's fair.
And that's hard. That's crazy to say. I don't know. Maybe they could sneak one at home against OSU, or they get Kansas State at K-State, or
it's at K-State. Yeah,
at K-State.
Yeah.
So that's
it's really
tough.
hard. Yeah.
I mean, all of those. I don't know that KU wins another game, but even if they don't, they've still been the surprise of the Big 12 so far. But TCU is the other one.
They're without their starting quarterback tomorrow, Jalen Daniels, and who knows how long he is going to be out. There was a report out that he was out for the rest of the year, and then Daniels puts out a tweet that basically says,
it's like, that's news to me.
News to me. Yeah.
So the other part is the TCU one. Who have they really played up to this point?
And again,
because we correlate
fair.
that with how bad OU has been,
Mm-hmm.
and they look bad there. Kansas, we're looking at, okay, are they going to even make a bowl game? If they've got to win another game to make a bowl game. So TCU, where I start to buy in on TCU is this weekend. If they get one against OSU, then I say, okay, that team's very real. But if they don't, then I still think they're a bit of a pretender.
Well, and then the 22nd they get K-State. The 29th they're at West Virginia. The 5th they play host to Texas Tech. Then they're at Texas, at Baylor, and finish up with Iowa State. So, if you were just kind of looking at this going, maybe 2 left for them, 2, maybe 3.
Yeah.
I would say we'll see what happens with K-State. That's a night kickoff in Fort Worth, not that it matters. And then playing at West Virginia. It'll be interesting to see where West Virginia's momentum is.
Yeah.
Okay. Does that inspire them, the win last night? Because it kind of looked to me like, man, while he's not everything, but JT Daniels looked pretty good. I mean, what if West Virginia comes in here next week and beats us? Then they've got TCU, then they've got Iowa State, Oklahoma, K-State, and Oklahoma State.
This feels like, Chuck, one of those years where it matters so much when you play teams in the Big 12. I mean, you obviously play everybody, but are you getting a team when they're down, or are you getting a team when they're playing their best?
See, that's what I fear
like
about Oklahoma. I fear by the time they come here, they'll be playing for something.
I think you're probably right. I mean, I can't just envision OU going 3-9 this season, or just being on the mat the whole time. But that being said, I think Tech got Texas at the right time for once, right? I mean, you got them when Quinn Ewers is down, and you were able to get them coming off the loss to Alabama.
Yeah,
you got them when they were somewhat susceptible to a loss, and I think that was a good time. When is the best time to get West Virginia? Probably not right now. They look pretty good last night. When's the best time to get Baylor? Who knows? Maybe it will be in 2 weeks.
Well, it may be next week now.
Yeah. Yes. So
maybe next week now.
So I feel like this year, since the Big 12
may not
feels
have their quarterbacks, is the point.
As wide open as it's been, it just feels like one of those years where the when you get a team matters so much.
Somebody says this: Baylor giving up 600 yards to West Virginia was shocking. Yeah. No, I think that's.
Didn't expect that.
No, it's very fair.
Hey,
very fair.
Baylor.
It's not like West Virginia's defense was any. What? As we always reference, they didn't look like the '85 Bears last night.
Yeah. No. Baylor hadn't looked so hot since Joey McGuire left them. Just saying. Just saying.
I wonder who he was rooting for last night.
Oh, I think he always roots for Baylor.
Yeah, which I understand that.
Yeah,
his buddies are over there. He recruited a lot. He recruited a lot of those kids.
The players. I think there's a whole lot of players he knows personally and loves. So I completely get him rooting for Baylor.
What would be your argument for him rooting for West Virginia last night?
League standings?
I don't know. I don't know.
League standings.
I don't have any leg to stand on there. I just was, maybe he wasn't rooting for anybody, but.
Yeah, I think he definitely pulls for the Bears.
Somebody said that Neil save his job. I think Neil Brown saved his job with a $16 million buyout. Well, that's what saved Neil Brown's job.
I think he definitely quieted the naysayers with the win.
He's going to have to stack success.
There we go. Stacking success.
I hope I can stack some success today. There's probably a little freak in everybody.
Your morning blend of sports,
K-State is coming off a big win over Oklahoma. Of course, the Red Raiders off their 37-34 overtime win over number 22 Texas.
and humor.
Sure to tell them that. You suggested that. And, of course, that got a big laugh.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app. The Morning Drive on Double T 97.3.
Not always accurate, not always fair. Just try to be entertaining.
The key word there was try.
It's exactly how I feel when I mow my yard in the rain.
The song?
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna mow.
Chuck, I had put that visual mostly out of my brain.
I'm gonna mow this
back.
weekend. But I think it'll be nice and sunny. So
Need to delete that bed out of the rotator.
You gonna, you and the colony, you gonna mow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for the visual.
Well, we
weekend
put
started.
out an alert, and he responds. Dan in Dallas. Chuck had a Dallaser. Let me know you called me out. You haven't been reading my texts lately.
Oh.
Texted yesterday, crickets. The Dallasers are paying double prices for tickets and are going to represent. Okay,
I really
Dan,
think it's going to be an awesome crowd.
apologize. I apologize for that, for not getting to you yesterday. Let's see what you. Let me see what you said yesterday. Oh, here we go. Chuck, which of the two sayings do you prefer from Kingsbury? We'll see who trots out there, or Kitley, we'll see who we throw out there. Oh, which of the two sayings do you prefer? Kingsbury's, we'll see who trots out there, or Kitley's, we'll see who we throw out there. I prefer the trot out there. You'll know when he trots out there.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, who's the starting quarterback? You'll know when he trots out there. Which shoulder is hurt? One of them. He has a lower leg injury. Which one of them? Okay.
What is
Yes.
the lower leg?
A friend who is from Kansas and I have had a shrimp and crab boil for the past 6 years for Texas Tech versus K-State. Dan in Dallas for 20 people. The loser pays. I'm tired of paying, damn it. Human did not beat cats. Sorry. PJ says his tickets are very high on StubHub. Not sure Tech is going to have the turnout you're anticipating. Choice.
I think a lot of Tech fans already did the purchase, the 3-game purchase or whatever. So
Bullfighter says, I know how you feel, buddy. Bullfighter, I think we get to you.
Read your text.
Pretty good there, Bullfighter. Don't get bruised. Don't get drawn off sides. Okay, don't get drawn off sides.
Like the Nebraska football team.
Yeah. Chuck, when are you going to swim against Choice? Since he said he could outswim you.
Never said that.
Whenever he wants.
Whoever said that?
I don't know.
I never said I could outswim you.
They said that. You said that. So.
I don't think I said it, but
Okay.
I don't know. I might could.
Hey, by the way, we missed a birthday in our building, and if the Power of the Morning Drive wants to give her a shout out, it's Chismosa's birthday today on Magic 106.5.
Well, happy birthday, Chismosa.
Happy birthday.
I don't have their call-in number. I'm gonna guess it's 771 806 771 01065.
I'll just do it on their chat line. That's on her chat line.
Yeah.
There you go.
So if
Happy
you want to go to the Magic 106.5 chat line and wish her happy birthday from the Morning Drive. We'll show her a little power of the Morning Drive. She's already got a cake from listeners.
Oh, really?
A cake from a listener.
I mean, she's the most popular in the building, right?
Favorite DJ 24/7. Somebody, Liz brought her pastries this morning. It'll be a red carpet deal all day long today.
We all have people that like us and don't like us, at least over here on the sports side.
70-30.
I don't think anybody doesn't like Chismosa.
No.
I mean,
she's beloved.
Yeah, for sure.
So Chismosa, happy birthday. Okay?
For sure.
She's been with us for a long, long time. 8:19 this morning on the Morning Drive. All right. How you feeling? Are the Cowboys your team?
They are my team.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Sunday and the Cowboys and the Eagles? A game you'll hear on Double T 97.3. 6 o'clock pregame on that one?
Yeah.
Okay. 7:20 kick. Eagles are favored by 6.5. This game will come to you from Philadelphia. You feeling good? The Eagles 5-0, Cowboys 4-1.
I'm feeling good overall about the Cowboys, not necessarily about Sunday, but I did not, after seeing Week 1, did not expect the Cowboys to be 5-1 at this point.
I would agree with that.
So, that being said, Chuck, I keep waiting on the Cowboys like I am waiting on OU. I'm like, but in the opposite effect. I keep waiting on OU. I'm like, they've got to turn it on at some point. It's OU. They've got to win a game, and I think this weekend's probably it. I think this is the weekend also for the Cowboys to come back to earth a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think they were going to win in L.A. last week. I thought, well, they're not that good on the road. So I feel like this has got to be the week that they come back to earth. That being said, I don't think the Eagles are just an awesome football team either. They're good. They're a good football team.
Their offense is second overall, fourth in rushing, seventh in passing, fifth in scoring.
Yeah.
Okay. The Cowboys offense, 27th overall, 15th in the rush, 27th in the pass, tied for 24th in scoring. But the Cowboys defense, very good. 7th overall, 19th against the rush, 7th against the pass, and 3rd in scoring. The Cowboys, the turnover differential, and this is where this game may come down to, Cowboys are +5, Eagles are +9. Jalen Hurts, the quarterback for the Eagles, has won 8 straight, which is, by the way, the longest active streak in the National Football League.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys, Cooper Rush is coming up on him. I think the Cowboys defense is going to win them a lot of football games this year. A lot of football games.
Yeah, I agree.
They haven't faced a ton of great teams
Nope.
up to this point. Not a lot. I mean, New York is a 5-1 team right now, so they're pretty good. Beat them on the road, but Philly just seems to be a different animal.
What about the
in that
Rams?
game in Philly? The Rams, I don't think that's a good football team right now.
Yeah, I think I would
don't.
agree with you on that.
So this is the biggest or second biggest test. The Buccaneers are whatever. That's week 1 of the season. I'd like to see that played over again, not in a week 1 setting.
I'll pass on that. Actually, I don't need to lose to Tom Brady twice in the same year.
Okay,
I'm with Jeff.
That's fair enough. But this game just feels like the one. I think it's going to be close. It sounds like I'm kind of downplaying the Cowboys completely. I think you're going to have a close game, but Philly will win a tight one on their home field. And I'm still not panicking as a Cowboys fan because the schedule is pretty darn easy in the middle.
Yeah, because then after this game you have Detroit, Chicago, then you go to Green Bay, which I said that McCarthy would be fired by that. You have a bye week after the Chicago game.
You still sticking with he's going to get fired?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
like this year.
No.
At all this year? Yeah.
No, I'm not taking that back because I think he's got to win a game in the playoffs. I think he's may need to get to the NFC Championship game.
I don't know if he has to get that far, but I don't know.
I mean, he would have to win 2 games to get there because they're not going to get the bye.
I mean,
There's only one team that gets the bye now.
I'm not ready to crown the Cowboys defense as the 85 Bears.
Okay. There you go.
Or crown them as
we all understand that.
The Ravens who won a Super Bowl with their defense, or even the Broncos.
So Cooper Rush is not Trent Dilfer yet, right?
Right. He's not there yet. Or even the Broncos with Peyton Manning is last year. That defense is the one that won the Super Bowl. Who's the other one? The Buccaneers with
Brad. What's his name?
Brad Johnson.
Yeah.
Those are the defenses that have won Super Bowls in the last 3 decades or so. Cowboys don't have one of those yet, but this is right now the best defensive front in football. Cowboys have that. I mean, it seems like every quarterback they're facing is under extreme duress.
No doubt.
And if the Cowboys have a chance at winning this weekend against Philly, it's that they are causing Jalen Hurts to
God, and remember we were so worried about the Cowboys'
defensive
line when Randy, what's his name?
Gregory,
the drug guy, when they couldn't get his deal done.
I think they're doing okay. Dorrance Armstrong has stepped up.
He's been fantastic,
amazingly, and it doesn't get better than Micah Parsons right now.
No, he's the best player he's the best defensive player in the National Football League
right now. He's
and DeMarcus Lawrence is no slouch.
Not at all. So the defensive front for the Cowboys has been outstanding, and I think Jalen Hurts might be under duress, but he's made some good decisions.
I'll be really curious when Dak comes back, and it's probably going to be next week. I mean, because McCarthy said he wanted to have a full week of practice with him. I'll be real curious to see how much the offense changes with Dak. Do they become a little bit more conservative because they
I kind of hope so.
They don't. Yes, I do too.
He doesn't need to go win you football games.
No, that's not on him.
No, I think you can almost bus driver's too much of a shot, but you can almost turn him into a slightly above bus driver quarterback.
How about just
still win football games?
How about don't be a turnover machine and don't get hurt? How about that?
One is easier than the other.
That would be really, really stepping up there, buddy boy.
Yeah, but I think the Cowboys, and we're a third of the way through the season, but I think that's a team that can make some noise, even in the playoffs this year, if they let their defense win games for them, stay healthy, and Dak does just enough, just do enough.
You would have to say at this point in time that the Cowboys are one of the surprise teams of the NFL, given what they've been through in losing their quarterback.
Especially after how awful it looked in Game 1.
Yep.
Yes, I agree.
All right.
You've been listening to the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3. For more from Lubbock Sports Station, go to doublet973.com.